and welcome to News Mobile Big Question. I am Saurabh Shukla and I'm joined today by Shekhar Iyer, News Mobile's consulting editor politics, to talk about the upcoming elections 2024 and the impact of Ram Temple in Ayodhya on these elections. Shekhar, welcome to News Mobile.
Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you. Nice to be on News Mobile again. Thank you very much.
Shekhar, why is so much of politics happening on Ayodhya's Ram Temple? This has been constructed after a verdict of the Apex Court. Why is there so much politics happening?
That's exactly the point. See, if only the opposition had simply let the event take place and even participated and not made a big deal about, or worried about BJP getting credit and things like that, this wouldn't have got the kind of attention on the political arena, as you mentioned. Because the event by itself is has never happened before. Because Deepavali is celebrated in Ayodhya as homecoming of Lord Ram after vanquishing Ravana in Sri Lanka. But what we are seeing today is the similar, people are feeling that something that they thought would never happen is happening. That a grand Ram temple is coming up at a very spot that they believe Ram was born, and also that despite several, hurdles and legal tangles, finally the verdict was delivered. And in 2020, the construction started, foundation was laid, and the temple is ready. In normal course, there should not have been a problem. That is why invitations were sent by the Ram Tirth Trust, Kshatriya Tirth Trust, to all the leaders. Whoever held some posts were invited, including Sonia Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, because they were leaders. Sonia being the Congress Parliamentary Party chairperson, Mallikarjun Kharge being the leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha. All the opposition leaders were invited. But I do not know, somehow the opposition got into a mindset that this is going to benefit hugely the BJP and Prime Minister Modi. Therefore, it has to be opposed. I think it is opposition that has given birth to this politics. And they must know that Ram Temple is an issue where you cannot deny credit to the BJP. Since 1989, they have been at it. They launched a movement, the famous Palampur resolution of 1989 by the BJP National Executive, where they extended support to this Ram Temple movement, which had then started previously. Now, that being the case, I simply cannot understand from a political logic why the Congress should have taken the stand it did, and the kind of statements that are coming even from the alliance partners, making all kinds of nonsensical statement about whether Lord Ram was a vegetarian. Then the new controversy was sought to be created. Again, very important, Saurabh. When the Congress probably realized that they could not, there is no way they can oppose it, and they were not in a mood to welcome it, they decided to take the shelter of some disgruntled religious leaders who said the temple is incomplete.
True.
And that argument has fallen flat. Because whether it is Somnath temple or this temple or all those grand temples you see in the south, which are more than 2000 years old, all those temples started from the sanctum sanctorum. That is, they started from Garbhagriha. And eventually it went on, the temple building was taken up. So all kinds of arguments were brought, and the very Sankaracharya who has questioned this, his own status, is under legal dispute. The Jyotirpith Sankaracharya who raised this issue. What I'm saying is, I do not know why the stand is necessary. The temple event would have happened and people would have got on. And,
yes,
and let me tell you, Saurabh, I want to disclose to News Mobile viewers. Sources tell me that the Prime Minister Modi would not want Ram Temple to eclipse all other things, including the achievements of his government of the last 9-10 years. Because Ram Temple will be showcased by BJP in this election as an achievement, as a promise fulfilled. But that is not going to be the only focus, because the other areas are those deliverables that has happened on the ground, which are the strongest points for the Prime Minister in this election.
That's a very good point, Shekhar, you made here. So where do you see this entire euphoria generated following this Ram temple being constructed in Ayodhya. That was a poll promise made by the BJP. And certainly, where do you see this turning into a massive vote surge for the BJP?
Saurabh, I can tell you, Ram Temple is always to the credit of the BJP. And this time, they started the construction after the Supreme Court verdict. Because in all their manifestos, excepting the NDO manifesto of 99, because that time BJP they came with the agenda of governance and they kept out these issues, saying that these are contentious issues, we don't have a majority on the road. Otherwise, every manifesto you take that the BJP has produced before election always said about this, that we are for a grand temple at Ayodhya. Either this should be possible through negotiated settlement or by a court verdict or by an act of parliament. Fortunately, those things were not necessary, but negotiated settlement was not possible because both sides had a hardened stand. Efforts were made to start talks, but didn't move forward. Right from Narasimha Rao times to Chandrasekhar time, several times things have happened. Nothing of that said happened. Now, the question is, will BJP benefit hugely? Now I think they will benefit hugely because of the Congress opposition. And that is the biggest game changer, because what is happening is the incredible devotion you are seeing all over the country. It's not just the north or a particular region or Uttar Pradesh. All over the country, Saurabh, people from all walks of life, youngsters particularly, are caught in a kind of a devotional mood. A point that the Prime Minister has repeatedly emphasized in the 3 statements he has made. He has said, let's not be aggressive about this. And if you will recall, Saurabh, when the Ram Temple judgment came, in 2019, it was RSS chief, RSS Sangh Sanchaalak, Mohan Bhagwat, who issued a statement. He said, no need for a celebration. No need to appear, we are victors and some are losers. That's not the purpose of this temple. And similarly, what you have seen is people are, all devotional people. And youngsters in particular, they have found a revived interest in, the entire, the Ramayana, as well as the personality of Purushottam Ram, as well as in this whole thing, the cultural renaissance you are seeing in this country. It's incredible. No matter who you are. And see, to be in a state of denial, I think that only a foolish person would be in a state of denial. You have to accept this moment, because this has happened after 500 years. And the whole problem is this issue grew because the entire establishment, right from independence, was in a state of denial. And the matter went to the court. Courts were told to avoid taking up this case. We have seen what all has happened. There is a timeline if you see what all happened during this period. Now, in 1991, Saurabh, it's Rajiv Gandhi, who went to Ayodhya and started his election campaign for the 1991 Lok Sabha elections, saying that Congress promises Ram Rajya. And he made that statement from Ayodhya. And we all know in 1985, the locks were opened. Rajiv Gandhi was Prime Minister. And now, there is a controversy with Shekhar Iyer coming out with the book saying Rajiv Gandhi was not at all aware. It was all Arun Dairy who did it.
So that's a very good point you raised here. So do you think that the India Alliance and the Congress made a tactical mistake by staying away from the Ram Temple inauguration?
I think they got worked up about the minority votes. Very simple, Saurabh, because what I understand, when the Congress top leadership discussed it, there were many people favoring Sonia Gandhi and Kharge attending that August 22nd inaugural. They said we must go. But what happened was that the fears were expressed by people, particularly from states like Kerala, saying, look, what will happen to our minority votes? Because we have hugely benefited from minority votes switching to our side in Karnataka, in Telangana. And we are now, they are coming to us. And that is how we are going to emerge in the north also. Because the regional parties, whether Samajwadi Party or Rashtriya Janata Dal, these are the parties today commanding the minority votes. So by sticking to our stand, because by going there, we are not going to get those who vote for BJP to our side. And we will lose minority votes if we appear to be also, sharing the excitement of the BJP. So that was, and that particular, the die was cast by Rahul Gandhi. It is Rahul Gandhi who said, no, we need not go.
This is an interesting point you make here. You saw, when on this New Year, 2024, in during Christmas, Prime Minister called leaders from all faith to his residence. There were Christian leaders there were Muslim leaders there. So BJP, in some ways, is also making, outreach to the minority communities as well. The Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. How much of that playing out in election 2024? Where do you see the minorities, some part of it, actually supporting the Prime Minister in the elections 2024? Because in the state elections, we have seen that some of the states, Muslim women have voted for the BJP. There have been states like Chhattisgarh, where there's a large tribal population there. They have voted for the BJP. So how do you think that will pan out?
Saurabh, undoubtedly BJP's vote base has expanded, and they made conscious efforts to reach out to Dalits, tribals, OBCs, and also to the minorities. Now, you are going to see the results of that in the coming elections, particularly in Kerala. The Prime Minister has gone to Thrissur twice, and he went to attend the marriage of the actor Suresh Gopi's daughter in Guruvayur. Guruvayur is the famous, where the famous Krishna temple is located.
Yes,
And
yes.
Prime Minister has made it a point in the run-up to the August 22nd inaugural that he would visit all the places in this country which are associated with Lord Ram.
Yeah, right.
Now, at the same time, Thrissur particularly, Thrissur Lok Sabha seat, where Suresh Gopi had contested, and he had lost by some 5,000 votes, and so therefore Thrissur Lok Sabha seat is a very important seat, because after the Hindu votes, the most important votes are the Christian votes. Right. Christian clergy, particularly church leaders, have been meeting and have holding dialogue with the Prime Minister, and they feel that in Kerala, where Marxists are having their second term, it's very important they have a choice, because they see that Congress, under the present dispensation, is losing sheep, even in Kerala. And Marxists are getting unchallenged, because in the Lok Sabha elections, the UDF had swept the elections, 2019. But in 2021, Pinarayi Vijayan managed a second term. So the church is looking at BJP as an alternative to the communists, because church has always had problems with the communists in Kerala. Now, similarly, in other parts of the country, you mentioned about, Prime Minister's outreach and efforts are being made, because they are also beginning to realize 2024 looks like Prime Minister Modi is certain to come back for a third term. So how should the community be, engaging in a dialogue with the government? That's very important. See, this is at the clergy and the leadership level. But even among people, people are seeing what is happening, the kind of transformation that is taking place in this country. Because if you look around the globe, India seems to be one bright spot. As the other day, US Secretary of State Blinken said at the Davos Economic Summit, that India is completely different, on a different path of growth. Where when other economies are grappling with a lot of issues, some are even fearing that they could be getting into a kind of a depression. That slump they are all seeing. So there is economic growth, there is prospect for investment, there is a sign that things are going to change in the next 10 years in India. A lot has happened in the last 10 years. Foundation has been laid. When these are all happening, Ram Temple looks like a very important, even in terms of cultural renaissance, in terms of, where people feel there's something that has been denied. It is a denial which has resulted in, the denial of facts of history, denial of facts of, what had happened there. Now, all that was to do was, we could have had a reconciliation and moved on. But that was not allowed, because people who were opposed to this were in a state of denial, that no temple was broken, nothing happened. This is all a creation of Hindu nationalists, all creation of RSS. But that's not the story. That's not the story of the last 500 years there. So I think this is an issue. Similarly, in the run-up to Lok Sabha election, Saurabh, what we are seeing is, and at the same time, there are fears among some leaders, like, say, Trinamool Congress. Trinamool is worried on two counts. It's also worried that minority votes may go if it appears to be too friendly to BJP or shows some love for Lord Ram. So Mamata Banerjee has come with another thing. She says on January 22nd, she will take out a yatra to the Kolkata, is the biggest Kali temple in Kalighat. And from there, she will visit every church, every Gurdwara, every mosque. and finally culminate in a huge rally in Pak Sakas Maidan, which is actually an area dominated by minorities. Now, this whole act of monkey balancing was not necessary because Ayodhya is a different issue altogether. And incidentally, Saurabh, see, the Muslim community, leaders of the community accepted the Supreme Court verdict. Land has been allotted for a grand mosque to come up about 20 kilometers from the present site, close to Ayodhya. Work is going to start there, and they are going to make that place into a very grand mosque. They say it will be even bigger than the Taj Mahal.
So that's a very, very good point that you made. What about, a lot of viewers in the US are watching us. A lot of foreign investors have a keen interest. So what is the message from 2024 elections in India? Do you see more stability, a continuance of the programs of the government, or do you see, Prime Minister Modi coming back with a bigger mandate and making sure that the economic policies of his government are continued post 2024?
Definitely, you're going to see, a return of greater stability and continuity. Continuity because a lot of foundation has been laid. The last 10 years, those are going to pick up. And when Prime Minister, talks of Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India, he talks of an India that is going to completely look at its own potential. And that is already happening. But also we must remember, Saurabh, Prime Minister's third term will see even greater innovation. Renovation and innovation. Because he always believes in, you have to reform, you have to transform, and you have to perform. And that is going to keep doing it. You are going to see more improvements in infrastructure, more areas which are going to attract investment, and consequently that are going to generate employment. And the areas that he will tackle further, I see agriculture particularly will become more capital intensive. He had plans with his farm bills. Unfortunately, the farm bills ran into foul weather and the bills were withdrawn. I expect Prime Minister to go take it back to the drawing board and see how more capital intensive it can be, because that's the only way you can ensure a fair deal for the farmers, fair deal for the produce. That's one area. Second area, I'm going to see an efforts to see that we excel in education. Our problem is there are mushroom of institution, but excellence is one area that is seen as wanting. So you can see Prime Minister push for more excellence in the field of education, engineering, manufacturing, and he has already a lot of plans, because I heard from a minister that he is not looking at a situation where BJP will sit in the opposition. Rather, his plans are ready. What should be done as soon as the third term starts? But the Prime Minister wants this mandate to be a larger mandate, because he doesn't want this mandate just to show that it is a repetition of what happened in 19. He is looking at 50% plus in terms of electoral vote, because he believes in setting a target. He believes in setting a target. So therefore, how it will convert seats, but at the same time, he is realistic. He has taken the opposition unity very seriously. If anybody has taken it more seriously, I think it is Prime Minister. And he tells people, look, you have to go to the booth. You have to tell the voters. And right now, Saurabh, there is a Vikshit Bharat program going on till end of January. This program is actually run by the Information Broadcasting Ministry, where the government of India vans are, crisscrossing different parts of the state, nook and corner, where they are explaining these are the programs, flagship program. Have you been enrolled? Has these programs changed your lives? If you have been left out, do join now. Whether it is Jan Dhan Yojana, PM Awas Yojana, your health insurance scheme, or piped water scheme, Ujjwala scheme, all that Prime Minister considers is, achievement on the ground, deliveries on the ground. And that's where, the Prime Minister, as I said again, he would not want that he won on the basis of Ram Temple. But Ram Temple is a subject. I'm coming back to the question we started. It's a subject you cannot take BJP out of it. Because every Ram devotee feels that Prime Minister and the BJP had a big role to play in the timely, resolution of the conflict through a court verdict. At the same time, also an occasion where people are tremendously moved by their own faith. Saurabh, I want to say one thing. I have spoken to religious scholars and everybody. This is one temple that's going to be different from all the temples you have seen. This is a temple that draws power from the people's faith. So you have had temples before that from the deity, the faith flowed to the people. This is one where the people's faith itself has led to creation of what we are seeing today. That's why there is a tremendous wave of Ram Bhakti. I don't know how you will explain it, but this is incredible.
Absolutely.
You will have to feel it.
You can see the
You will
euphoria
have to feel it.
everywhere, Shekhar. I agree and share your sentiment. This is, a cultural renaissance, as you are saying, and you can see the euphoria all along. Where do you see BJP's southern challenges going in these elections 2024? In the last elections, they did not fare very well. In the southern states, in Karnataka, they lost. Telangana, they lost. So where do you see the BJP and the NDA getting seats in 2024 from the southern states?
Yeah, there are 130 seats in the south, parliamentary seats, and BJP has had 30 seats with them. Karnataka gave the biggest share, that was about 27 seats. And then Telangana had 4 seats. So almost 30 seats are from these two states. In Karnataka as well as in Telangana, the BJP vote share has gone up. They also added more seats compared to, they had 1 seat, they have increased it to 8. Yeah, assembly seats. Now in Karnataka, their vote share did not get truncated, but they lost it in terms of seats. But so the challenge for BJP will be to see that they try to make up in terms of parliamentary seats. Though reaching the target of 2019 may be difficult because the Congress won the assembly elections. Now they are looking at states like Kerala where they are hoping to, open their account. There was one time Rajagopal had one seat in the assembly,
Yes.
but they have never done well in the parliamentary election. This time, at least, they are focusing on 4-5 seats. At least they can win 2 seats. It will be a very big achievement. Similarly, in Tamil Nadu, their effort is, the Prime Minister's effort is that ultimately BJP should emerge as an alternative with the so-called Dravidian parties. So these are states are work in progress. But the idea is, BJP has divided, there are about 150 seats, of which a majority of them in the south, where BJP feels these are seats where either BJP came third or they have never won those seats. In fact, there are 3 categories. One category is where BJP won it narrowly. There are second category where BJP lost narrowly. The third category is seats where they have never won. So there is a lot of focus on seats that they have never won. The idea is that Prime Minister wants people to be made aware of what the government has done all these years, what are the deliveries that people are actually seeing the benefit of Modi government for the last 10 years. So it is on the basis of performance, tangible results on the ground, and also what kind of foundation has been laid and how the future looks from today. That is going to be the package, rather the electoral plank of the BJP in these elections.
Shekhar, before I let you go, one last question. Will you see a lot of new faces? Does the Prime Minister want to replace some of these sitting MPs and wants to get in fresh blood, so to say, in these elections?
Definitely, Saurabh, he will be looking for fresh faces. Though in terms of social empowerment, he will keep the same formula going, that more and more, people from the communities hitherto underrepresented, communities which are seen as extremely backward classes, they are given a chance to contest parliament elections. And another factor will be the youth factor. The BJP under Prime Minister Modi believes in, investing and nurturing talents who can provide at least next 10 years at the center. And also, Saurabh, we must remember the next parliamentary elections, I mean, not the 2024. When the next time elections are held in 2029, you would have had a delimitation of constituencies. Number of seats would have gone up. Women empowerment would have come. So this is one election that is going to be a game changer in terms of bringing in new faces, fresh blood, more younger talents, and more energetic youth who believe in performance and delivery. Because that will be the criteria in ticket selection, ticket distribution. Saurabh.
Shekhar, thank you so much for being on News Mobile Big Question. And To all our viewers out there, we will be decoding elections 2024 for you here at News Mobile. Stay tuned and follow our YouTube channel, and also share it with your friends, because your voice matters. Also, let us know in comments what are the issues you'd like to us to speak about in our forthcoming episodes of News Mobile Big Questions. Thanks for watching.